This week, we're revisiting one of the world's most iconic big cats, the tiger. News coming out from the Wildlife Conservation Society is both positive and encouraging, and it concerns efforts in the Far East in recent years. Thailand has made remarkable strides in tiger conservation, specifically in the Western Forest Complex. From 2007 to 2023, the tiger population in this region has increased by 250%, growing from approximately 40 to over 140 tigers in the short 15-year span. This success story stands in stark contrast to the dire situation for tigers elsewhere in Southeast Asia, where populations have declined significantly. For instance, tigers have disappeared from Java and Bali before the 21st century, and from Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam by the mid-2000s. Elsewhere in the region, tigers face significant threats from poaching and habitat loss, and they now only survive in small, isolated populations in places like Sumatra, Peninsular Malaysia, and Myanmar. The success in Western Forest Complex is largely attributed to the dedicated efforts of Thailand's Department of National Parks, Wildlife, and Plant Conservation, which implemented rigorous patrolling measures to protect tigers and their prey from poaching and habitat destruction. Prior to these efforts, illegal hunting and logging were rampant in the Western Forest Complex, putting tigers on a path toward extinction. To ensure effectiveness, the Wildlife Conservation Society and the Thai government have been monitoring the impact of intensified anti-poaching patrols for nearly 2 decades. This work began in 2004 with the deployment of hundreds of cameras to capture images of tigers. Each tiger's unique stripe pattern allows scientists to identify and track individual tigers, monitor their fates, and observe population trends over time. From the outset, the goal was to establish a statistically robust monitoring system to provide reliable information for tracking recovery efforts. This approach has been a model for setting up and maintaining a strong, independent monitoring program that lends credibility to tiger recovery initiatives. The news out of Thailand of a 250% increase in tiger numbers over 15 years is proof that the tiger can be saved, but it takes long-term commitment on focused interventions, said Dale McKell, a senior tiger conservationist at the Wildlife Conservation Society. It does not happen overnight. Recovery efforts are important not only for tigers. These same forests protect most of the terrestrial biodiversity of Asia, provide ecosystem services for millions of people, and buffer the impacts of climate change by retaining healthy forested ecosystems. As the apex predator in Western Forest Complex, tigers are an indicator of the overall health of the ecosystem. Consequently, the team also monitored the broader effects of rigorous patrolling on the ecosystem. 2 companion research papers documented a significant recovery in prey populations, including the first documented appearances of banteng, an endangered species of wild cattle, in parts of the forest where they had never been reported before. Their study also showed a doubling in the numbers of sambar, a large elk-like deer, which are key prey species for tigers in Western Forest Complex. The recovery of these prey populations was essential for the growth of tiger numbers. The results of these efforts tell a compelling story of large-scale ecosystem-wide recovery. The Wildlife Conservation Society is part of the Tiger Conservation Coalition, which brings together leading biologists and experts in wildlife crime, human-wildlife coexistence, policy, finance, development, and communications, all working together to achieve tiger conservation at scale. This recent news underscores the importance of rigorous conservation efforts, effective law enforcement, and continuous monitoring in the successful recovery of tiger populations in Thailand's Western Forest Complex. It also highlights how interconnected species within an ecosystem are, and the critical role of prey populations in the survival of apex predators like tigers. Don't stop here. Find out more. Visit the links in the description below for more in-depth information on the stories presented in this video. Or if you are a part of a wildlife organization doing something interesting right now, let us know in the comments.